Welcome everyone to Famous Monuments in France with Laetitia Harris. Laetitia, you are a teacher, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. What do you teach exactly?
So I teach French for adults at a school that is called Coucou French.
Very nice, very nice. And you are from France as well, correct?
Yes, I'm from Paris.
Oh, Paris, very nice, very nice. Well, thank you for joining us and thank you for taking the time to do this with us. We really appreciate it and look forward to it. Okay.
My pleasure.
Stage is yours.
Cool. Hi, everyone. So, as I say, I'm Laetitia and I'm from Paris. So, let me show you. Just, Ashley, can you enable screen sharing, please? Because it's written as disable screen sharing.
Try it now.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so everyone can see? Yeah, perfect. So you see Paris is right here. It's the capital of France, la capitale de l'Hexagone. L'Hexagone is the nickname that we give to France because it has the 6 sides, so it has the shape of an hexagon. So we call France this way. So Paris is the capital, it's right here. And here you have France. Where is France in the world, in the map of the world? So you see France is here, kind of in the middle of Europe. And here you have the flag, which we say le drapeau in French, le drapeau de la France, okay? Qui est bleu, blanc, rouge. Blue, white, and red. So Paris, it's constituted this way with several districts that we called arrondissements. So the closest you are from the center, it starts in the center. You see in the middle, you have le premier, the first district, 1. And then it becomes bigger and bigger. So you have le centre. And around Paris, you have the suburbs, okay, which is called la banlieue. So for instance, me, I was actually not living in Paris, like in the middle. I was living right outside. You see where it's written Charenton, Vincennes. I was here. So my school and everything was in Paris. So my mom was driving me, every day. But I was not living in Paris, technically. So now we're gonna start seeing like some of the monuments. Obviously, there are many, many beautiful monuments in Paris. So in 30 minutes, we are not gonna get the time to see all of them. But I will try to tell and show you one of the nicest monuments. So here you see l'Hôtel des Invalides. So l'Hôtel des Invalides, as you see, has like a beautiful dome here, a golden dome, and is very high. It's 107 meters high. So you know that Paris is really a historical city. That's why you see so many beautiful old buildings. So l'Hôtel des Invalides, it was originally built by Louis XIV, Louis XIV, and it was used to welcome the homeless and the veterans of the King's Army. So this was back then when Louis XIV built it. Now, of course, it's not anymore this. Now, what can we find in Les Invalides? We can find the tomb of the French Emperor Napoleon that you might have heard of. And it's also where we can find 3 museums. Okay, so what are these museums? You have the Army Museum, the Order of the Liberation Museum, and the Relief Map Museum. In front of this beautiful hotel, you have a big lawn where we tend to just like sit down and picnic or talk. You know, like in France, you have a lot of park, lawns, cafes. People love just basically doing nothing and chilling. Next, we have la Basilique du Sacré-Cœur. So here again, you see a dome, okay, but this is a big church, a basilique, okay? This you can see from kind of everywhere in Paris because it's on top of a hill, okay? This hill, it's called Montmartre. So Montmartre, maybe you've seen the movie Amélie. It's a very famous neighborhood because it's very artistic. You have a lot of painters that show their art, a lot of cute little street, very, very nice. So this is Montmartre. La Place du Tertre, it's this square where you see all the painters. And then you have stairs, and on top of it, you have this basilique. So this basilique, maybe you know Notre Dame, and we will see later Notre Dame, but you see, it doesn't really look like Notre Dame. It looks more like maybe the Taj Mahal in India or this style, okay? So in France and in Paris, you have a lot of different styles. So this, for La Basilique du Sacré-Cœur, it's the Romanesque Byzantine style. When was built this basilique? It was built in 1875, between 1875 and 1914, sorry, I'm so bad with numbers, by the architect Paul Abadie. What we can find inside is La Savoyarde. What is La Savoyarde? It's the heaviest bell. You know, in church you have the bell, and it weighs 18 tons. So that's the biggest bell. As I said, it's on the top of a hill. So when you're over there, you can have a beautiful view of Paris. After living for a while in New York, when I came back there, I felt like a big giant walked over Paris because everything was so flat, and now I was used to New York and the big building. But it's very beautiful. You can really see like all the roof of Paris, and you again chill on the stairs, and it's very nice. Now another church that you might know because that's the most famous one, which is la Cathédrale de Notre Dame. So this one, it's a different style. It's not Byzantine style, it's Gothic style, okay? So it's the Middle Age style. This cathedral is extremely famous. It's known as one of the most beautiful churches in Europe. And it got famous with the novel from Victor Hugo in the 19th century, Le Bossu de Notre Dame in French, the original title, and in English, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Maybe you've heard most recently that last year in April 15, a big fire happened like in a church. It was an accident. So the images were quite shocking. It was actually pretty funny because that day I was teaching, back then I was teaching in Forest Hill High School in Queens. And all the teachers came to see me and tell me like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like if it was someone from my family in a hospital or something. And it's true that for a French person, it's part of your history, of your patrimoine. So it was really sad to see that. But now they are constructing it again. And it was mainly the roof and the spine that was affected. So they are constructing it again. La Tour Eiffel. So this is the symbol of Paris, okay? The Eiffel Tower, la Tour Eiffel, it's really the most popular monument of Paris. So the nickname of la Tour Eiffel, it's la Dame de Fer, the Iron Lady, because if you see it from close, it's really just iron, okay? It's actually not so beautiful when you see it very close. It's much nicer when you have a panoramic view, or like in a picture that I put, when it's lit at night, it's really super beautiful. So this monument was created for the Paris International Exhibition in 1889. So you know that the French Revolution happened in 1789. So this was the centenary of the French Revolution. And they did a big exhibition, and this Eiffel Tower was created for that. So back then, the Eiffel Tower was the tallest monument. Now, the Eiffel Tower is the most visited paid entrance monument in the world. More than, so these are crazy numbers, 7 million visitors each year, and 250 million people have visited the tower since its completion. Okay, so obviously Paris is a very, very big touristic city, and nobody goes to Paris without going to see the Eiffel Tower. And some people do the huge line to go inside. At the top of the Eiffel Tower, you have a restaurant, and you have a panoramic view as well. You can take the stairs, or you can take the elevator. Now, of course, with coronavirus, Paris is very affected, and you know, like in Europe, Spain, and France, and all these countries rely really, really a lot on tourists. And summer for Europe is the big touristic season, because that's when the weather is beautiful and when people have vacation. So this year, not so many people will visit the Eiffel Tower. Linked to the Eiffel Tower, la place du Trocadéro. So this is right under the Eiffel Tower. You have this big garden with this beautiful fountain that is called La Fontaine de Warsaw. As I say, at night, the Eiffel Tower is lit, like in the previous picture, and at midnight it sparkles. Okay, so when it's lit, the fountain also is lit, and so it's very beautiful. So you have this under the Eiffel Tower. You see in the picture, people are just sitting. As I say, French people love just doing nothing and enjoying with their friends. And as you see in this picture, this is really la Place du Trocadéro. You are at the same height than the Eiffel Tower, so you have a really beautiful view on the garden and on the rest. And on your right and left side, you have Le Palais de Chaillot, which is a museum. So all this complex is what you see when you go to see the Eiffel Tower, okay? You go, you have the museum, you have the garden, you have the fountain, and you have plenty of cafes around and plenty of people selling you mini Eiffel Tower and mini souvenirs of France and Paris. Now, la Statue de la Liberté. So I don't know if you knew, but in France and in Paris, we also have a mini statue of the Liberty. Okay, so obviously This one is much smaller. It's a quarter scale replica. And it was actually a gift from the American community in Paris to France. A gift that was made in 1889, so 100 years after the French Revolution, and it was to commemorate this French Revolution, okay? So this gift, it was to really show that there is a very big bond between the US and France, that they are friends, and that they both fight for the Republic, okay? This little statue of Liberty is located in a little island that is called l'île aux Cygnes. Okay, that's the name of the island. So as you know, in Paris, you have, and we will see that later, the right side, the right blank, and the left blank, okay, that are on the right and left side of the river in the middle, la Seine. So this is in the middle of la Seine, okay? So not in the right or not in the left. And it was actually created, this little island, to back then when they were using the river for, like, you know, boats to bring food, etc. Then there were like too much traffic, so they created this little island to avoid so many traffic on the other part. This Statue of Liberty was given to France 3 years after the Statue of Liberty that you know in New York was inaugurated. It was actually one of the model, okay, when they worked, sorry, I'm being aggressed by B. It was actually like one of the models that they worked on for the real one. And in Paris, you can find 3 models of the Statue of Liberty. 2 are in a museum, so much smaller, and 1 is outside, it's this one. Now you have La Seine, okay? So as I just said, La Seine is the river that cuts Paris in 2 sides, okay? You have the left and right banks. I each time put in blue the words in French. So you have rive gauche, gauche is left, and rive droite. Droite is right. So people love sitting on the border of the Seine and just chill and drink wine. You know that in Paris, in France, it's authorized to drink alcohol outside. So it's really a thing for young and not even young people to do. And the view is really magnificent. So La Seine is really extremely famous, maybe even the world's most famous river. Now it's used basically for like tourism, because you have all these boats like in a picture where you can like see Paris and they tell you this is this monument, this is this monument, etc. Or you can see it in a lot of movies or advertisements because it's very beautiful, romantic, etc. But back in the days, La Seine was really something used for business and to bring food and the things. So it was a source of sustenance, commerce, and now a breathtaking perspective. Since 1991, the Seine entered in the UNESCO World Heritage Site. So what does it mean? The UNESCO, this big organization, basically they have a patrimoine of the most beautiful monuments in the world, and they protect it, okay? They make sure that they stay as it is, that there is money to fund if like there is a problem, etc. And La Seine is really so important and so beautiful that it got part of this UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now some little numbers about La Seine. So La Seine is very long, okay? It's about 482 miles. In France, we don't talk with mile, we talk with kilometer, the same way we don't use Fahrenheit, we use Celsius. So it's 776 kilometers. It linked France and Britain, the English Channel, and you have many bridges throughout the Seine. So you see you have one in a picture, but you have way more. Some of the famous bridges are Le Pont Neuf, Le Pont de l'Alma. Maybe this one you know it because that's where Princess Diana died in a car accident. You have also the bridge where people now put lockers with their husband or whatever with their initials. So it's like the love bridge. Many bridge, and from all these bridge you have, of course, beautiful views of Paris. La Bastille. So La Bastille is really in the middle of Paris, okay? It's like in Paris you have all these, I don't know how you say in English, round points, like big square, round square in the middle, and then you have like plenty of avenue leaving from the middle. So you remember at the beginning I showed you the map of Paris, and this is like really in the middle. So you have this beautiful tall statue, which is in English the Spirit of Freedom, and in French, Génie de la Liberté. So again, everything is linked with the French Revolution. So this again was after the French Revolution, to say now we are free, etc. Back then, where now is this statue was like the prison, okay? So it's really like a symbol to say like back in the old regime, we were in jail, we couldn't do nothing, and now it's like freedom. Now, on top of like there are a lot of beautiful cafes, but there is also this thing that you see over there, which is an opera. So people think it's really beautiful. I think it's really ugly. It's like very modern. So it's kind of like, oh wow, everything is in glass. I mean, it's more New York style, but I love old style and beautiful architecture. But what is cool, it's like the juxtaposition of like the old thing and the new things. As I put a picture here to show you that you see you have these stairs to reach the opera, and these stairs are really like each time you tell your friend like, oh, meeting at Bastille, you meet them on the stairs of l'Opéra. So again, a place to chill. So really in Paris, you don't need to have money and to enter in a big fancy rooftop or bars. You just like hang out in the street basically. So you have this opera, you have festivals that take place over there. When there is protest, it's also over there. And you know that French people love protesting and love going on strike. So this is also a place where people do that. you have many bars, many cafes. So young people really love these neighborhoods. Voilà. So I say, of course, there are so many more monuments. Paris est magnifique. So maybe I'm just gonna show you like a little videos like this. You have an overall views of the beauty of Paris and its monuments. So let's play that.
What happened? How come I don't see anything?
You should see now. Do you see?
Yeah, we see it.
I don't see anything. What happened?
We
Oh, my
got-
God. Arlene. Yeah. What happened? Oh my gosh. Wait a minute.
I think it's just on your part, Arlene. I think the rest of us are seeing this.
I don't know but how do I get there?
I'm not sure what you're seeing. Right now.
Paris Monument? I got it now.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to put stuff in my computer. It's so slow. So you see that this we talked about, les Invalides. Wait, there is two videos that are playing at the same time. Which one to find the other video?
No worries. Take your time. Each time I move it, it starts again. Okay, it's okay. You'll have the two at the same time. It's just a bit messy with the music. Okay, let me know when you see it. Do you see? We see a white screen, a white YouTube screen, but I don't see a video.
Yeah, because it's still loading. I'm sorry,
Okay.
my computer is on.
No worries. No worries. Take your time. Take your time.
You have a teasing of beautiful monuments.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now my computer is silent.
No problem. I'm going to see if I can pull up the video and play it up through my phone.
Oh, yes, please. That would be great.
Voilà.
Wow, thank you so much.
Alors, just Ashley, if you can unmute everyone. Oh là là.
Paris, la ville lumière, offre de tout. Du shopping à l'architecture aux arts. Cette ville est un conte de fées magique.
Thank you so much, Laetitia.
Tellement de choses à voir et à faire.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, do you have any question, or I have a little game at the end for you to do if you want.
Oh, wow, thank you. Yes, sure.
You see if you can recognize some monuments now. Do you have any question or comments or anything before we do the little game?
You guys can unmute yourself if you have a question, or you can write it in the chat if you want.
Okay, so let's do the little game. So maybe everyone can unmute, and you'll tell me the response and I'll click. So here, we're gonna see this video. So you're gonna see the monuments, and then we're gonna stop, and they're gonna propose you, okay? Is this or this or that, okay? And you need to pick what is the right name of the monuments. All of them we've talked about in the little introduction.
Eiffel Tower.
Yes, we're gonna see.
Yeah.
Wait, but what is that? Oh no! Wait. I'm sorry, each time technological problem. Where is? Okay, bon, it's okay. Usually it pops up and you need to click. So you can see the monuments if you recognize it. So très bien. It was the Eiffel Tower and la Place du Trocadéro you saw with the garden and with the two museums. Now, what is this?
That's the mini Statue of Liberty. That was a gift.
Très bien. Do you remember what is this? It is the first one we talked about.
Sacre-Cœur? No.
Les Invalides. Les Invalides.
Oui, bravo. Excellent, les Invalides. And it's even more complicated because usually in the video I wanted to show you, you had several propositions, but now you're doing it even without the multiple choice, so even better. Très bien, donc this one is les Invalides. Excellent. What is this, the river?
Le Seine, what, yeah.
Seine. La Seine.
La Seine.
Seine.
Excellent.
Do the artists go on both sides?
Sorry, can you repeat?
The artists selling their paintings, are they on both sides of the Seine?
Ah, very good question. No, it's usually just on one side. And one, yes, usually very good. So if you've been to Paris, you have this little green kind of, not truck, but like little boutique outside that sell old books and also paintings.
And you didn't tell us about the boat rides.
Yes, the boat rides. I mentioned the boat rides. That's the bateau mouche.
Bateau mouche.
Yes, les bateaux mouches. You see,
That's nice. It's very nice, the boat ride.
yeah, the boat ride, very nice. It's when they present all the monuments, and if the weather is nice, you can be on top, open air, and have the wind in your face. Really nice. Alors, just I want to stop here just to add a little comment. You see all these buildings, it's what's called les immeubles haussmanniens. Okay, so Haussmann was the guy that did kind of like the map of Paris, le Baron Haussmann. So he gave his name to the buildings. And if you go in Paris, you will notice that all the old buildings look kind of the same. And that's why Paris is so beautiful, because these buildings are nice, but also you feel like you are really in an atmosphere because everything looks like that. So it's very typical of Paris, this building with this very thin balcony, and you have an angle with the round window. Now, what is this on the left? Which monument is that? Maybe we'll see better. Ah, no.
Notre Dame.
What was this?
Notre Dame.
Très bien. Notre Dame. Super. So depending of Notre Dame, it's very big. Okay, so depending of the angle, maybe it's gonna look a bit different. So usually you're used to see it from the other side with these two columns. So it's easier to recognize. This is the back of Notre Dame. Excellent.
Excuse me, where is the Palace of Versailles? Is it in Paris or outside of Paris? You didn't show.
A very good question. It's outside of Paris. It's
Okay.
huge. Very huge. You see Notre Dame. So this is the roof that has been hurt with the fire, and the spine. So if you've seen in the news the thing collapsing, it was this, it was the spine. Okay, now like if you want, I can continue just if you want to enjoy Paris, but we haven't studied the other monuments, so it's up to you.
Sure, yeah, keep playing the video. This is awesome. It's fantastic. Thank you.
And maybe you will recognize anyway. Oh, this one we've did, sorry. This one we've learned. Which one is this one?
I forget the name, but that's the more modern one, right? The
Yes, it's La Bastille, where you have also the opera, exactly. Oh, and this one, we've seen actually. This one, what is this one?
Sacré-Cœur.
Oui, bravo, le Sacré-Cœur. So you see, that's what I told you with then the stairs, where you sat and you see all the view. So la basilique du Sacré-Cœur. Très bien. And what can we find inside La Basilique? It's the heaviest.
Oh, the bell.
Très bien, the heaviest bell, la Savoyarde.
Jardin des Tuileries.
Yes, exactly. This is le Jardin des Tuileries. This is beautiful, beautiful garden. I'm like nostalgic. I want to go to Paris. And on the side, it's the Louvre, right? The big museum.
Right.
And this is Les Tuileries, the garden with the fountain.
They can't be home. They can't go back and forth. Right? Oh, I see. So they dorm by you.
This thing, actually, there were a big issue around it because every summer they were putting it, and now they were saying like, oh, it damaged the, you know, like the beauty of the landscape. It's too like modern, etc. So there were controversy because people were, well, it's part of the attraction. It's quite cool to go and to see all the monuments. And at the end, the guy succeeded to say, no, like I'm gonna continue to put it up every summer. What is this?
Arc de Triomphe.
Oui, bravo, excellent, l'Arc de Triomphe. So l'Arc de Triomphe, you see, you can go on the top and you can have a beautiful view. So les Champs-Élysées, that is the main avenue, it's like a straight line. So if you are on a like very far from in the beginning of Les Champs-Élysées, you're gonna see the Arc de Triomphe because it's built this way. And it's very similar to the arc in Washington Square Park, but obviously l'Arc de Triomphe is much bigger.
Can you go over the Champs-Élysées?
Yeah, this what you see here behind, it's Les Champs-Élysées. I'm gonna get to it. So this is what I was talking about of the roundabout. So this is hell for all the people that are not used to drive in Paris because it's very dangerous, honestly. But that's very common. This one is just the main one, the biggest one. Usually there is less lanes, but it's very common in like the architecture of Paris. It's like this, and then you go like everywhere. Back to our Tour Eiffel. Voilà.
Wow. Thank you so much, Laetitia. Really,
My
thank you.
pleasure.
Does anyone have any questions for Laetitia before we say goodbye?
How old? How old?
Claire,
You
you're
hear
talking,
me?
but you're mute.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was
Thank
good.
you.
My pleasure.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
I love that.
Merci.
Gorgeous.
Again.
Thank you.